So suppose there's some sculptor and he goes to the sculpture emporium and buys a lump of clay that he wants to make a statue out of. But suppose he gets busy and the clay sits around in his garage for a while before he can get around to making the statue. And then he builds his statue, it's this great statue, and it sits out in his den, and then one of his children grabs the arm off of it and pulls the arm off and throws it out in the desert where it's devoured by coyotes. This is unacceptable, so he goes back to the clay emporium, buys another little bit of clay, and sculpts a new arm out of it and attaches the arm. Now, an interesting thing about this is the lump of clay is different now. Some of it's been removed and some new clay has been added in. So it's a different lump, but it's still the same statue. That's weird. The lump of clay existed for a long time before the statue did, and then the statue can survive transformations that the lump of clay cannot. And so if I'm holding this statue in my hands, right, how many things am I holding? Am I holding just one thing, or am I holding two, the statue and the lump? That's weird. And there's all these examples like that just below the surface of everything. It's crazy. Philosophy is a weird discipline. So when you take a course in biology, right, you know what you're getting into. You're going to be engaging in the scientific study of life. And when you take a course on history, you're going to study the history of some group of people or some time period or something like that. And that's just not the case in philosophy. There's all kinds of different stuff that we study, and there's no one way that we study the stuff we study. It's a very eclectic set of subfields where we just investigate this weird stuff that comes out of the woodwork whenever you start thinking very carefully about stuff. So what I focus on are questions in ethics, and so like suppose you wanted to make the world a better place. What would it take to do that? Suppose you wanted to do the right thing, right? Under what conditions would something that you did be the right thing? What is justice, and why is it so important? And it seems to me that these questions just get to the core of who we are and how we should behave and how we should treat each other and why that's important. And it seems to me that these questions are just incredibly interesting and engaging, and these are the questions that I like to talk about in class.